In the top stories, the 2026 edition of the St. Kitts Music Festival closes with spectacular performances. 4 persons charged with disorderly conduct, and the JNF General Hospital continues to make transformational upgrades. The details to these stories and more after the break.
It's something that you can't put into words. A buzz in the air. From the time you wake up, you're ready to go. The freedom, the fantasy, the fete. To know it is to live it and love it. You have to experience it. If you know, you know. Angostura White Oak Rum. New look, same vibes inside.
Welcome to the ZIZ Major Newscast. I am Jamie Morris. The 28th St. Kitts Music Festival came to a spectacular close Saturday night, with thousands of patrons leaving Warner Park after what many described as an unforgettable evening of world-class entertainment. From local talent to international superstars, the festival's final night delivered a lineup that kept the energy high from start to finish. The audience came to Warner Park ready for a spectacular show, creating an atmosphere that carried throughout the night. Local recording artist ZIZ took to the stage, proudly representing St. Kitts and Nevis. Backed by strong crowd support, ZIZ delivered a confident performance that had fans singing along and celebrating homegrown talent. Next came the legendary R&B group Boyz II Men, whose timeless harmonies transported fans back through decades of hit music. The Grammy Award-winning trio performed many of their biggest songs, with thousands in attendance singing along throughout the set. The momentum continued with Fantasia, whose powerful voice and emotional delivery captivated the crowd. From soulful ballads to high-energy numbers, the award-winning singer drew loud applause and standing ovations as she connected with fans across Warner Park. Backed by an energetic band, Riley kept patrons on their feet with a set filled with uplifting messages, crowd favorites, and sing-along moments that echoed throughout the venue. The icon Barris Hammond performed some of his best-known classics, with his fans joining him word for word, creating one of the evening's most memorable moments. Many in attendance remained until the final song, celebrating a performance that highlighted Hammond's enduring popularity across generations. Closing the festival was reggae star Tarrus Riley, who brought his signature blend of roots reggae and lovers rock to the festival stage. Beyond the performances, patrons also praised the festival's production quality, sound and lighting, and an atmosphere that reflected the warmth and hospitality of St. Kitts and Nevis. With another successful edition now complete, the St. Kitts Music Festival once again demonstrated why it remains one of the Caribbean's premier entertainment events, bringing together international stars, regional performers, and local talent for a celebration of music, culture, and tourism. In other news, 4 people have been charged in connection with an alleged fight at Timothy Beach in Frigate Bay earlier this month. The charges were announced by the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force on Friday. According to police, Kawanda Prentice and Jaquana Prentice, both of Stapleton, along with Tessalina Norford of Tabernacle and Shaquana Tyson of Cayon, were arrested on June 25th. Police say all 4 were subsequently charged on warrants in the first instance with the offense of disorderly conduct by fighting. Investigators say the charges stem from an altercation that allegedly occurred at Timothy Beach on June 21st. The Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force say all 4 individuals have since been granted bail and are expected to appear before the magistrate's court at a later date. No further details about the incident have been released. In its statement, the police force reaffirmed its commitment to maintaining public order and ensuring the safety of residents and visitors alike. Police are also encouraging members of the public to resolve disputes peacefully and avoid conduct that could threaten the peace and safety of others. In other local news, Minister of Health Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew says major upgrades to the Joseph and Franz General Hospital are part of a broader effort by his administration to modernize healthcare and improve the quality of care available in St. Kitts and Nevis. Speaking during Thursday's roundtable press conference, Dr. Drew said the government has made significant investments to upgrade both the hospital's facilities and the services it provides.
I want to announce today that we have now fully AC'd the hospital. We have AC on medical ward, surgical ward, oncology, pediatrics, obs and gynae, outpatient department, all of the departments, and the areas in the psychiatric ward where we can put them as well. So for the first time, the hospital is fully AC'd out. And why we do that? That was part of our plan because, again, with climate change, the temperature was rising. So I went there yesterday to see the system. The nurses and patients are extremely happy that now they have a hospital that is fully AC'd.
The Prime Minister also confirmed last week's announcement that the refurbished private ward will reopen for the first time since the COVID-19 pandemic.
And we are on the verge now of opening up the private ward. We have refurbished the private ward, upgraded the private ward, and the private ward will be open, I think, within the next month to 6 weeks as well.
Dr. Drew also provided an update on the new MRI facility, describing it as one of the most advanced specialized medical buildings ever constructed in the Federation.
With respect to the MRI facility, the building is almost done, it's 95% complete. It is the first of its kind, I think maybe in the OECS. It's a very advanced structure. And so the MRI itself will be coming from the Netherlands with Philips, and that MRI, we are in constant meeting. Every week there's a meeting with Philips and us because of the type of advanced machine that we need. We know in St. Kitts there are 2 containerized MRIs that are available, which we want to continue to serve. But what we are simply saying is that we needed an MRI with an MRI suite that goes beyond what a containerized MRI machine can do. So some people would ask, why is it taking this time? It is because it's a specialized building. Our people here are now gaining the experience of how to build these type of facilities. In addition, these buildings have stipulations down to the radiation, the electromagnetic field around the building, because the MRI is a big magnet that is spinning. And you have to make sure that the electromagnetic field around the building and all the other stipulations are in order.
These infrastructure upgrades are being matched by expanded clinical services, including the appointment of the Federation's first cardiologist, adding to a growing team of specialists now available at the hospital. According to Prime Minister Drew, the Labour administration's objective is to ensure that more people can access high-quality diagnosis and treatment as part of a wider healthcare transformation agenda. Still ahead in tonight's broadcast, Prime Minister Drew highlights the progress being made on water security, and Nevis geothermal drilling is set to begin later this year. The details in a moment.
This is not your ordinary furniture and appliance sale. This is cash back magic at SL Horseford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store.
Cashback magic is here.
Right now. Get style, more value, and more than you expected. Shop beautiful Ashley living rooms, dream bedroom sets, luxury dining collections, washers, refrigerators, stoves, and so much more. Plus, every higher purchase gets you free groceries, special cashback rewards, and unbelievable in-store savings. Why settle for ordinary when you can take home more? Furniture, appliances, cashback rewards, and free groceries. Visit SL Horseford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store today. Cash back magic. More style, more comfort, more savings. More than you ever expected. More value. Savings! More than you expected.
Swipe your card, live your life. National Bank Life is nice. You can spend it when you want it, how you like, where you like. Swipe your card, live your life. National Bank Life is nice. Home or away, any time of the day. Credit or debit, right in your pocket. With National Bank card, so many benefits. Oh yeah, the choice is yours. Just come and embrace it.
Live your life your way with purchases big or small. Mango, nuts, breadfruit and all.
You can spend it when you want it, how you like, where you like. Swipe your card, live your life. National Bank Life is nice.
Whenever you need us, we're here. Here in every little moment. Here for our communities. Here in laughter. Here in stress, here in heart. We're more than a service. We're part of your story. Here with you always. The Cable. Here with you always.
Welcome back. Prime Minister the Honourable Dr. Terence Drew says the Federation's major investment in water infrastructure have helped ease the impact of the current drought. During his roundtable press conference on Thursday, Dr. Drew said his Labour administration moved early on to address the threat of climate change, declining rainfall, and the risk of saltwater intrusion into the Bastia aquifer.
On what we did in terms of our water strategy, we would be out of water at this time. Why? One, there's excess pressure on the aquifer at Bastia because, again, we know that sea level is rising and there is the risk of saltwater intrusion into the aquifer. And the more you extract, is the higher the risk of saltwater intrusion. That means seawater going into the aquifer. That's one. Secondly, we also knew that there would be decreased rainfall and irregular rainfall. Presently, we are suffering one of the worst droughts in our recorded history. I think this is the worst drought since the 1920s. And this is a result of climate change and a process called El Nino.
That response included the construction of a 2 million gallon per day desalination plant, which now provides round-the-clock water to Bastia, along with new wells and expanded pipelines to improve distribution across the island. According to the Prime Minister, those projects have increased 24-hour water access to about 70% of the population, with additional well drilling and pipeline work still underway.
Water intrusion, so it has saved the aquifer. The second matter is we are able to supply the whole of Bastia with 24-hour coverage of water. Thirdly, because of that, we were able to now invest more money. That cost us about $50 million, the desalination plant. Then we had to invest in a pipeline from the Bastia Valley Aquifer through Taylors all the way up to St. Peter's. So now that part of St. Peter's, especially the lower portion, is receiving water from the aquifer. And that is why we are able to go to 24-hour access to water in St. Peter's. And then on the upper part of St. Peter's, that water is coming surface runoff from fundamentally Green Hill. And so that water now is supporting the upper part of St. Peter's and the aquifer is supporting the lower part of St. Peter's. And I really want to take this opportunity to thank the Honourable Convis Maynard, who is the Minister with responsibility for water, and the whole of the Water Department, Mr. Cromwell Williams, Kurt Carty, and all the others who are there. There are some names I did not call. It is not by, I would have to get a list of those names.
He maintained that without those investments, the Federation would have been facing a far more serious water shortage during what he described as the most severe drought since the 1920s. In other news, Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew says the long-planned geothermal project in Nevis is entering a major implementation phase, with drilling expected to begin later this year as St. Kitts and Nevis moves closer to achieving low-cost renewable energy. Speaking at the roundtable on Thursday, Dr. Drew announced that a contractor has been selected to carry out the geothermal project, with arrangements now underway for the drilling rig to arrive later this year. The Prime Minister said the project remains a key priority of his administration, describing geothermal energy as a transformational investment for both St. Kitts and Nevis.
Put in there. I also want to say that with respect to the geothermal, Icelandic drillers, they have won the bid for geothermal, and we are finalizing now that aspect where we want the rig to be here in August, September, so that we can start drilling for geothermal energy right over on Nevis.
Dr. Drew said the project will deliver benefits across the Federation through lower energy costs, greater energy security, and new economic opportunities. He added that the geothermal development will complement the proposed 50-megawatt solar photovoltaic project, which is also advancing through the procurement process and is part of the government's broader renewable energy strategy. The Prime Minister said the country is now moving beyond planning to delivery.
and with geothermal energy. These are not just thoughts anymore. These are actually happening as we speak. Maybe 3 years ago, 3.5 years, I said it was a vision. The vision is now coming to fruition, and therefore, I am very, very proud of that. But in addition to that,
the government maintains that affordable renewable energy is central to its sustainable island state agenda, with lower electricity costs expected to support desalination, expand food production, reduce the cost of living, and strengthen the Federation's long-term economic resilience. Ahead in regional news, we'll take a look at how a new film initiative in Barbados is using storytelling and creativity to tackle youth violence. More after this.
Looking for a new vehicle? Horsford's automotive division has exactly what you need. Reliable performance, modern design, and a team committed to getting you on the road with confidence. From everyday drives to exciting upgrades, quality and service come standard. Ready to refresh your home? Visit Ashley Furniture Home Store at Horsford's. Discover statement pieces, stylish accents, and comfort designed to elevate your space instantly. Planning a project? The Building Center provides premium paints mixed to perfection and expert guidance every step of the way. Bring your ideas to life with ease. Automotive, home style, building essentials, all in one trusted destination. Make it simple. Make it smart. Experience everything Horsford's has to offer today. Try Horsford's first.
Whenever you need us, we're here. Here in every little moment. Here for our communities. Here in laughter. Here in stress. Here in heart. We're more than a service. We're part of your story. Here with you always. The Cable. Here with you always.
Welcome back. In regional news, a new film initiative is using storytelling and creativity to tackle youth violence while honoring the memory of a young life lost too soon. Filmmaker Carrie Birch has launched the project called Once Upon a Frame in tribute to 13-year-old Jonathan Chase, who was fatally shot while watching a netball game at a community hardcourt in Silver Reef, Christchurch last year. Speaking at the launch, Birch said Jonathan's death represents what she described as a growing pattern of violence that is affecting communities, disrupting families, and placing an entire generation at risk. She said the initiative is designed to give young people a positive outlet by transforming their ideas into films. Developed in partnership with 13 Degrees North Productions and Jonathan's parents, Sean and Zabita Chase, the project will bring 4 youth-written stories to the screen. Among them is Kite Heist, a story written by Jonathan himself. Another production, Intergalactic Pup, will be created entirely using artificial intelligence, according to Birch. The completed films are expected to air on state television and will also be submitted to international film festivals. Birch said violence often flourishes in communities where young people feel overlooked, unheard, and lack meaningful opportunities. She believes initiatives like Once Upon a Frame can help change that by replacing idleness with imagination, isolation with collaboration, and risk with purpose. In addition to encouraging creativity, the program will teach participants practical film production skills that could lead to future employment opportunities. According to Birch, the initiative will receive support from corporate sponsors, and discussions are already underway with representatives from the Ministry of Innovation, Industry, Science, and Technology. Birch ended her remarks with a call for greater national investment in young people. She said the real question is not whether the country can afford to support programs like this, but whether it can afford not to. On the other side of the break, tensions between the United States and Iran are once again on the rise after both countries exchanged military strikes. The details in a moment.
Trust in NCI, come to NCI, protect with NCI, only NCI, always here for you, always, NCI is here for you, always, whole life, term life, for your peace, healthcare, health plans, no worries, home shield coverage, you're safe, choose NCI to secure your space, life challenges will come your way. Protecting NCI. Come to NCI. Protect with NCI. Only NCI. Always here for you, always. NCI is here for you, always.
Welcome back. Tensions between the United States and Iran are once again on the rise after both countries exchanged military strikes just days after signing a memorandum of understanding aimed at restoring peace and ensuring safe passage through the strategically important Strait of Hormuz. The latest developments are raising fresh concerns about stability in one of the world's busiest shipping lanes. According to Iranian state broadcaster Press TV, Iran's Revolutionary Guard said Saturday they targeted U.S. military positions, accusing Washington of violating last week's agreement. Iran's foreign ministry also condemned the United States, saying it had breached the terms of the deal. CNN reports a U.S. official confirmed American forces detected a couple of drones, but said they failed to reach their intended targets. Meanwhile, Bahrain says Iranian drones entered its territory early Saturday morning. Bahrain's Foreign Affairs Ministry condemned what it described as a flagrant violation of the country's sovereignty. Officials have not identified the intended target, and Tehran has not commented on the incident. Adding to the uncertainty, the United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operation says an oil tanker traveling through the Strait of Hormuz was struck by what it called an unidentified projectile. Officials say the vessel suffered damage, but all crew members escaped without injury. Shipping companies are now being urged to exercise caution while transiting the waterway. The latest attacks are the newest chapter in a growing series of confrontations centered on the Strait of Hormuz. The situation escalated Thursday after Iran attacked a commercial vessel near the strait. U.S. President Donald Trump called that strike a, quote, foolish violation, end quote, of the recently signed agreement intended to end hostilities. Despite the exchange of attacks, a U.S. official told CNN the incidents do not appear to signal a return to full-scale military operations, at least for now. On Friday, U.S. Central Command, or CENTCOM, announced that American aircraft struck Iranian missile and drone storage sites, along with coastal radar installations around the Strait of Hormuz. CENTCOM said the operation was carried out in response to what it described as Iran's unwarranted aggression against commercial shipping. Vice President J.D. Vance, who played a leading role in negotiating last week's agreement, warned Friday, quote, violence will be met with violence, end quote. The Joint Maritime Information Center, overseen by the U.S. Navy, has now raised the threat level in the Strait of Hormuz to substantial following the recent attacks on merchant vessels. The center also announced that a shipping route near Oman has been widened to improve the flow of marine traffic in both directions. The memorandum signed earlier this month calls on Iran to use its best efforts to ensure the safe passage of commercial ships and restore shipping volumes to pre-war levels. However, one major disagreement remains unresolved. President Trump insists vessels should pass through the Strait of Hormuz without paying tolls, while Iranian officials maintain they reserve the right to charge fees for ships using the waterway. As both sides continue to accuse each other of violating the agreement, concerns remain that renewed instability in the Strait of Hormuz could have far-reaching consequences for global trade and energy markets. When we return, we'll take another look at the stories that made the headlines.
Yeah, man. Another day in the books. Well, hello there. Ooh, she pretty from head to toe, and are you ready to go? Wait there. Whew. Can't afford to slip up. Not even in my dreams.
Here's a recap of the top stories. The 2026 edition of the St. Kitts Music Festival closes with spectacular performances. 4 persons charged with disorderly conduct. And the JNF General Hospital continues to make transformational upgrades. That brings us to the end of the ZIZ Major Newscast. Thank you for joining us. I am Jamie Morris. Have a great week.